Hello, Elise here from Miss McKenna's Life Leverage, and today, as promised, I'm going to show you how I trace things into my bullet journal. So, some people might say this is cheating, but if you're not artistically blessed and you want to have beautiful pictures and images, and if you're like me and you're a bit crap with a brush pen and you want beautiful lettering in your planner, this is a really cool way to sort of fake it till you make it. So I'm going to create my master to-do list in my new planner, and I'm going to use the tracing method. Usually I would trace straight off my laptop screen, but for the purposes of this video and for ease of showing you, I've printed out the pieces I'm going to trace. So I have this sort of flower image and then master to-do in some nice lettering. So first off, you're going to need your journal, some bog standard tracing paper. You should be able to get this from any sort of craft store. You're going to want a pencil, and preferably a soft lead pencil. So HB, which this is sort of mid-range, not too hard, not too soft. The B's are softer and the H's are harder leads. But you want either a midi range or a softer one, because it makes the graphite easier to transfer into your journal once you go over it. And then you just want a pen and a rubber. So I've got the image I want to trace. I've got my tracing paper, which I will place on top. You could use some paper clips or something like that to hold it all in one place, but I find that as long as you hold it, it's not a problem. And it's worth mentioning at this point that anything you trace will come out the opposite way when you transfer it, a bit like a mirror image. So if you're tracing writing, we need to do a sort of double trace, and I'll show you how I do that in a bit. So first off, we're just going to trace this image. The harder you press, the more the graphite's going to come out, and then when you transfer it, it is going to get smudgy if you press too hard. So you want to press hard enough that it's going to transfer, but not so hard that you're going to get graphite everywhere and just smudge. So it might be a good idea to do a bit of practicing before you go into your journal, but it's not a problem because you can always rub it out. So now I'm going to trace these ones, and I'm going to move this so that I don't waste as much tracing paper. Okay, so I've got my two pieces there. And now I'm going to bring across my journal. So once you've traced the whole image out, you're going to get your bullet journal, flip your tracing paper over like this, and place it lead side down. So the lead that was on this side is now going to be touching the journal. And you're just going to place it exactly where you want it on your page. So that's about here for me. The nice thing about it is that you can shift it around to the perfect place, and not have to worry about spacing or anything, because you can see it. You can see where it's going. So I'm going to put this one about there, I think. I'm going to try not to touch this piece because it will transfer it. It's alright so far. And as you can see, like I mentioned before, the image is flipped. So luckily I want it that way for this journal, but if you don't want it that way, I'll be showing you how to do that. Put it back the right way later. So now you're going to hold your tracing paper really firmly, because if it shifts while you're tracing, it's really tricky to get it lined back up again. So now I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to rub it pretty firmly across the image, and this is what's going to transfer the lead onto your journal page. I'm going to pin the tracing paper down hard and go. So now I'm going to really hold this down, pin it down, and I'm just going to lift it. Now it could do with being going over a little bit more. Okay, I think that's good enough. And then we'll do the next side. Ta-da! Cool. And I'm not too bad. I've got a bit of lead on me, but it's not too bad. So next we're just going to go over it with the pen, and the sooner you can do it the better, because if you have to come back to it later, if you're shutting the book, this could transfer over here and that could transfer over there, and it could all get a little bit muddied up. So if I have to do that, I'll put a post-it note on top, but it's best to do it as soon as you can. So like here, it's got a little bit, let me just, here, I'm not sure which bits go into where, so I'm going to take this picture and bring it back and have a look so I can see where that piece is. Oop, I can see it there. It's that piece. So now I know what it actually looks like. I can go back to this and it gives me a clearer idea of what I'm sketching. Okay, so that's those all traced out. I'm going to add the border in a minute, because first I'm going to do the writing. Now if you want to put beautiful writing in your planner without having to practice your brush lettering for hours and hours, you're going to do the same process that I've just done, but with a few tweaks. First, when we initially trace, we are going to do it in pen. So I've got it traced out in pen there, and now as you can see, if I flip it, if I was to trace it that way, it would come out backwards. So we're going to go over it again. I'm going to sharpen this again first because it's gone all blunt, but we're going to go over it again, and then that way when we transfer it, the graphite will be the right way round. And you want to put it onto a surface that you don't mind the pen transferring onto. The reason we used a pen is because it transfers less than pencil, and it gets less smudgy. But as you can see, it does come off a little bit, so don't do it on top of your journal or you'll end up with a load of ghosting everywhere. Okay, so as I say, it does come out a little bit, so make sure you do it on something you don't mind it coming out on. So I'm going to bring this one back, and I'm going to line it up. I'm just marking where that border is going to fall because I want the writing to land on that border. And I'll just do a little check, and it's come out. So you can see there, it's come out nicely. I might change that M. I don't really like it. Maybe, maybe I can rubber. Do I dare? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Dun dun dun, freehand. Yeah, I think that'll be alright. Okay. Ooh. So now I'm just going to go over it in my pen.
There we are. I'm just going to fill that one in. And there you have it, one traced bullet journal page. And you can use this technique with pretty much any kind of writing or imagery, but it's worth mentioning that the more detailed or intricate the image, the trickier and more time-consuming this process is. So I hope this has helped you all, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. Happy planning! Bye!